just water, guys.
You didn't say it last time.
I'm trying to be one and done this year. Like, I won't be repeat all the time. I could say it every time. How about those Vikes?
That was a crazy game.
It was an awesome game. Players make plays. Players make plays.
That catch was so stupid.
That Jets Vikings Super Bowl can be awkward.
That'd be fantastic. Let's go.
Oh, man.
Josh talking like he won the Powerball.
Don't sleep on us.
All right, we good, John?
Yep. We're going with Open State. We're going on with questions.
Well, solid win for the Utes, and obviously it was a bit of a grinder type of game. I thought there was some fluid moments and then some real grinding moments, and those can be agonizing and frustrating. But that's basketball, and every night it's a little bit different. And it's difficult early in the season. We had 2 games under our belt before this. They had 2 games under their belt. 3rd game in 7 days. Just some lack of continuity. But the hard part on film is obviously these guys took BYU to the wire and looked good in that game. And they're just they're long. They're kind of it's a very different style of play to get ready to play against. And you really got to be on point with some things, specifically defensively, because every guy on their team can shoot it. I mean, they made threes from every spot. They're point guard, they're 2-man, they're 3-man, they're 4-man, and they're 5-man, and they really space you. In a lot of ways, their bigs are their best playmakers, where they throw it in and pitch it out. So your stance and vision's really got to be on point. And then I just didn't think offensively until maybe late. We just weren't nearly as sharp or as tough as we need to be. Like, we just weren't tough, and that's what we talked a lot about at halftime, setting up our cuts and how many times. And they're handsy now. They forced BYU into 23 turnovers the other day, and they're sneaky with their hands. They all have good hands. They get a lot of tips and deflections, and you got to work. You got to work to get safe receptions, and we got to be more in attack mode. And I felt like we really settled a lot, specifically the first 30 minutes of the game. And it was almost like the way they guard, they kind of bait you into some things, and we took the bait instead of attacking where they were, weak. And then I thought late, obviously, we did a much better job of being in attack mode. But, it was not pretty there that first, 10 minutes of the second half specifically. So at the end of the day, though, we did a really good job taking away their threes. They're a high-level shooting team. Held them to 25% from the 3, and again, 35% in the second half to keep them at 34.9%. So, when you hold a team to 58 points, you should be able to find a way to win. So, obviously, we got to still iron some things out on the offensive floor. I thought Luka Tarlock gave us great minutes. For him not to, he's been out for, I think, almost 2.5 to 3 weeks. And he practiced, today's Monday, so he practiced lightly on Saturday and had a good practice yesterday. Looked very good yesterday. And then we were just seeing how he was going to feel today, and obviously he was feeling good. I thought Eli Ballstead really came in. And, you guys have heard me say it about Eli a million times. That dude makes something happen. He's going to make something happen, whether it's really good or not so good. That dude comes in and plays with force. And, we told the team afterwards, like, he didn't get a whole lot of clock, didn't get a whole lot of time in the secret scrimmage, didn't play a lot in the exhibition. And that guy is a competitor, never hung his head, didn't have woe is me mentality, just goes in there and supports his teammates all the time. And I know for you guys that might be a little bit, but he is just a team guy. I thought he played big minutes. Obviously, stuck the 3 right away and got fouled on the 3 late. But he just did a great job defensively, taking away their stuff. And he's looked good in practice here, specifically the last couple of weeks. So it was great to see him. And, practice matters and performance matters. So, and then obviously Carl, BC was at a career high. I think that's what you told me, John. Career high. Stuck with it. It wasn't pretty for him at times. Kind of made a couple plays that he doesn't normally make, but he stayed the course, stayed mentally locked in, and definitely finished strong for us. And then Gabe's been playing really well. We got to get him some more shots. career high 8 rebounds. We told our guys that guards rebounding's got to be a big thing, and so for him to get 8 rebounds was good. So no time to rest. Got another tough team coming in on Thursday that, I'm assuming is going to be 3-0 coming in here with a very good win at Oklahoma to start the season.
Greg, when kids come over from Europe, there's obviously some sort of adjustment, but just given Luca's pedigree and his dad and where he's been, did you think that maybe he'd be a little more ahead of your average European kid coming over?
Yeah, I mean, we love Luca from the second we got eyes on him. And, of course, having Lazar here, I think it helped that process. Those two guys are very good friends and play together. But you just throw on film and like you like to say, the grainy film, from seeing some of that stuff. But he's just a high-level here's what I'll say. Like, everybody loves to play with Luca. He just makes the game simple. He's a high-level communicator. You saw how active his hands are. I mean, I call him Plastic Man, from the old car. Like, his arms just go, like, forever. But he just makes a lot of instinctive plays, and he's just always around the ball. And that's a talent when you're always around the ball. So he's played at a high level in Europe. Obviously, his dad played in the NBA, I think, for 1 year and high level in Europe. And so he's been around the game a long, long time and super instinctual. That's hard to do what he did today with literally basically 2 practices in 3 weeks. But cerebral kid, was able to follow the scouting report and he is going to have a bright future.
We didn't see Kev
Yeah, lower leg injury. It actually happened in the Bakersfield game. So he came down in a rebound. I believe it was his first run of the second half, where he landed and he kind of started, and he played through it. It wasn't nearly as effective in that run, but that's when it happened. Hasn't practiced or played since.
Short term, long term? What do we think?
I hope it's short term, but the way things have been going, you never know, right? So I just go by whatever Trevor tells me. Here we go. Here's the injury report, and we go from there. So I'm anticipating that it's going to be my new thing. Anticipating it'll be short term. I don't know if that means, short term like Thursday or short term, a week from now. So we've just had a lot of fluctuation with all this stuff.
With games like this, obviously you want to win and you want to be able to do that, but how much does adversity in games like this help you this early on in the season?
I mean, listen, we found a way to win when things were not going well. And that's the first time this team has faced that, right? Obviously, you want to win in a certain way and do all that stuff, but I do think it says something for our team grinding it out. And then, so at the end of the day, those games are good for you. And we're going to learn a lot from this. We are. We're going to learn a lot from this. We know we got a lot of inexperienced guys and trying to figure this out on the fly. So to be able to find a way to win, I thought we made a lot of winning plays. Late in the game. We did not make a lot of winning plays all game, but late in the game we did, and we kind of found a group that really gelled together and was able to play with a lot of synergy on both sides of the floor. So at the end of the day, it is a good win. It sure beats the other. And when you look, listen, I know how this can sound, but we all look around the country right now. What's going on? I mean, Louisville loses their first 2 games at home, and we can look at our league, what's going on or what's happened, and winning's hard. And with all the transitional thing going on and in all the college athletics, but I know specifically with men's basketball, it's a grind. So those guys are going to have a good year. Those guys are they're going to have a good year.
Any other questions for Coach?
Yeah, just early thoughts on Sam Houston. I mean, they're viewed as a middle-of-the-road team in the WAC, which a conference that probably doesn't get enough credit. Just what do you see early?
They're going to be good. They are good. I would be surprised if they're middle of the road. I know the WAC is elevated, right? The WAC has definitely made monster strides in the last 3-4 years, but they're good. I watched some film before the season started just on them because we're playing a lot of teams that are very well coached, and they're another one. And obviously to be able to do what they did, they showed some mettle coming from behind. I think they were down 14 at Oklahoma. I haven't watched that game yet. I've watched one of their other games, their other non-D1. But they are athletic. They are physical. They are quick to the ball. They have some weapons, some guys that can really, really shoot it. Their point guards have great juice, and they have good size inside. So they muck it up. They really fly to the ball, kind of like Bakersfield, where they're just going to fly to the ball. They have active hands, and they're twitchy. So they'll be prepared. I mean, they had Oklahoma on opening night, 2 91s, and they're going to be coming in here ready to go. And we're going to have our Rocket socks on here and play well.
Last question? No question. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you. Have a good night. What is it, Monday night?
Monday night.
Jeez.
Monday night.